After a brief pause, the Tianxian mirror resumed. Those who have joined the Myriad Immortals Alliance are prohibited from later joining the Five Elders Council. The same applies in reverse. Anyone who violates this rule will be pursued and hunted down by both organizations together. This time, it was Li Fan who fell silent. After a moment, Li Fan spoke up. It seems I haven't actually agreed to join your Myriad Immortals Alliance yet, have I? The Tianxian mirror replied. The moment you enter the Tianxian mirror and your divine sense is recorded, you are regarded as having voluntarily joined the Myriad Immortals Alliance. Li Fan inquired once more. Am I allowed to leave the Myriad Immortals Alliance and become a rogue cultivator? The Tianxian mirror went silent again. After a pause, it answered. You may, however, should you decide to leave, every item you acquired while part of the Myriad Immortals Alliance will be forcibly taken back. Please consider your choice carefully. Li Fan inquired whether items such as gold and silver could be exchanged for contribution points. The answer was yes, with detailed exchange rates available in the conversion list. Li Fan continued patiently posing one question after another to the Tianxian mirror. After a considerable time, he finally ceased his inquiries. I have no more questions for the moment. Very well, cultivator, should any new questions arise, feel free to ask me whenever you wish. You may also employ your divine sense to investigate matters on your own. The space grew quiet once more. As Li Fan extended his divine sense to shape the surroundings, the dark void gradually shifted into a refined chamber. Every detail of its furnishings matched those in Li Fan's quarters from the Grand Preceptor's residence in Great Xian. Li Fan extended his hand to touch the furnishings and objects in the room. They felt nearly indistinguishable from the real thing. Inwardly, Li Fan reflected. The Tianxian mirror is truly a remarkable treasure. From their previous conversation, Li Fan had already formed a general idea of the Myriad Immortals Alliance. Using his divine sense, he accessed the catalog for redeeming techniques. Even the most basic one for the Qi refinement realm required 1,000 contribution points. He then proceeded to the mission board, selecting only those tasks appropriate for cultivators in the early Qi refinement stage. What appeared before him was a disheartening display. Rewards of merely 5 or 10 contribution points each. Pursuing immortality while laboring like beasts of burden, a peculiar feeling slowly stirred in Li Fan's heart. At that very instant, the Tianxian mirror's voice echoed once more. You have received a new video message, please view it as soon as possible. A touch of surprise stirred in Li Fan. He had only just reached Myriad Immortals Island. How could someone already be sending him a message? He chose it, and a somewhat familiar figure appeared in front of him. It was Xiaoheng. With a warm smile, he said, Brother Li, you've finally made it here. The kindness you extended to me back on Lili Island has never left my thoughts. All this time, I've felt ashamed for departing the instant I entered the Qi refinement realm, without ever finding a proper way to repay you. Since arriving on Myriad Immortals Island, I've realized just how challenging it is to acquire cultivation techniques in the modern era. This difficulty hits newcomers to the Myriad Immortals Alliance particularly hard. They typically need 1 or 2 years to gather sufficient contribution points for even a Qi refinement technique. I was in the same situation. Fortunately, as your cultivation level rises, the opportunities to earn contribution points increase as well. Things get progressively better. Ever since I started cultivating, I've come across a few rare strokes of luck. I only reached the late Qi refinement stage a year ago, but I've already encountered another bottleneck. I'm planning to head to the depths of the Tsongyan Sea, to the ruins of the Cloudwater Palace, in search of a heaven and earth curio to build my Tao foundation. Such curios are extremely scarce, and this trip might take me away for several years. Before setting out, I've left a water attribute technique for you. Myriad Immortals Island lies within the Tsongyan Sea, a place rich with water energy. Practicing water attribute techniques here is not only simpler but also yields exceptional power. Brother Li, make sure to cultivate diligently. It's advisable to stay on the island until you've reached the mid-stage of Qi refinement. Xiaoheng's projections slowly vanished, leaving a jade slip floating in its place. Lesser water manipulation art, a Qi refinement technique, number of current practitioners 0. This young man. A gentle warmth filled Li Fan's heart. To be honest, Li Fan hadn't truly bestowed any significant favor upon Xiaoheng. He had only assisted in burying Su Changyu and arranged somewhat improved accommodations for him on Lily Island. Moreover, Xiaoheng had repaid him by supplying reliable information regarding the Starseed Drift San. Yet Xiaoheng had cherished that minor act of kindness throughout all this time. Even though his cultivation now greatly exceeded Li Fan's, he had not forgotten it. It appeared that Xiaoheng possessed a truly admirable character. Of course, part of the reason might stem from Xiaoheng's belief that they both originated from the Li world. In any case, Li Fan would keep this favor in mind. He was not one to respond to kindness with ingratitude. Along with the lesser water manipulation art, another book materialized beside it. It was the Taishang Primordial True Scripture, a name Li Fan recalled Ko Hong mentioning long ago. Practicing this scripture enabled a cultivator to disperse their cultivation at any time with almost no loss. In the present age, every cultivator regarded it as an indispensable technique. With both the lesser water manipulation art and the Thousand Mechanisms Jade Cosmos scripture in hand, supplemented by the Taishang Primordial True Scripture, Li Fan quickly made a decision. On the surface, he would cultivate the lesser water manipulation art as a red herring, while secretly practicing the Thousand Mechanisms Jade Cosmos scripture, of course. It would be best to find a pretext to leave Myriad Immortals Island first, then cultivate the Thousand Mechanisms Jade Cosmos scripture. Only after leaving, though the Tianxian mirror might not pay attention to an insignificant qi refinement cultivator like Li Fan, it was never wrong to be cautious. With the remaining time still available in the Tianxian mirror, Li Fan started cultivating the lesser water manipulation art. He already knew that the Tianxian mirror provided a significant advantage. One could spend contribution points to enable its assisted cultivation mode. Using 10 contribution points, Li Fan exchanged for 1 day in the assisted cultivation mode. In this mode, the density of spiritual qi within the mirror increased manifold, approaching the level found in a premier grotto heaven. Moreover, the spiritual qi could be transformed into any attribute the cultivator needed, providing a steady and inexhaustible supply that removed all concerns about depletion during rigorous practice. On top of that, every cultivator in this mode received an enhanced state of epiphany, in which their comprehension rose dramatically, allowing them to master cultivation techniques with far greater ease. This enhanced cultivation state nearly convinced Li Fan that he possessed unparalleled genius. Practicing became a source of pure delight, and Li Fan plunged deeply into it, becoming completely enthralled. The day flew by in an instant. The instant the enhancement ended, Li Fan was suddenly pulled out of that effortless, flowing state of cultivation. When he tried running the technique once more, the stark contrast hit him hard and clear. In assisted cultivation mode, his advancement had been more than 30 times quicker. The sheer disparity created such a profound sense of loss that Li Fan nearly succumbed to the urge to redeem another day immediately. But after glancing at his 10 remaining contribution points, he forcefully restrained himself. A sudden, fierce wave of greed rising within him, he thought. A treasure like this should be mine. Regrettably, for the time being, Li Fan could only daydream about it. The Tianxian mirror served as a core treasure of the Myriad Immortals Alliance, far beyond the grasp of a minor qi refinement cultivator like himself. Accumulating contribution points via mission tasks was a much more practical approach. Li Fan suddenly realized the real intent behind the Tianxian mirror's assisted cultivation mode. Any cultivator who had once tasted that extraordinarily efficient method of practice would find it almost impossible to resist the temptation to use it again. Moreover, if one concentrated entirely on accumulating points to enable the assisted cultivation mode and practiced solely during that enhanced state, the overall cultivation progress would still surpass that of conventional methods. Techniques, resources, assisted cultivation mode. The Myriad Immortals Alliance truly had its cultivators by the throat. Accumulating contribution points was not his primary concern. His chief objective was to secure a valid excuse to depart from the island and recover the Taiyan boat concealed within the storage space of Return to Truth. Inside the boat lay a considerable quantity of gold, silver, and jewels, along with a heaven and earth curio, the halt steel fragment. These items could be traded for a sizable amount of contribution points. As for why he chose not to summon it directly on Myriad Immortals Island, he was no fool. That would amount to openly declaring possession of a mysterious treasure. Li Fan was convinced that every corner of Myriad Immortals Island fell under the watchful eye of the Tianqian mirror. Attracting its notice would only invite trouble. Although return to truth could convert reality into illusion, it demanded Li Fan's deliberate control. What if an overwhelmingly powerful expert stepped in, locking down his divine sense and stopping him from even forming a single thought? In that case, he would be entirely helpless, left completely at their whim. Li Fan was unwilling to accept even the remotest chance of such a scenario. Just then, amidst the long list of tasks, a familiar name caught Li Fan's eye. Lioli Island. A spark of joy ignited within him, and he quickly accepted the mission task. He then carefully examined the task details. It turned out that the Myriad Immortals Alliance had completely run out of Lioli pearls, the specialty product of Lioli Island. As a result, the medicine hall issued a commission, seeking someone to head to Lioli Island and collect at least 20 Lioli pearls. The reward would depend on both the quality and the number of pearls submitted. This task was perfectly suited to him. To avoid exposing the Taiyan boat, Li Fan spent 5 contribution points to purchase the smallest storage ring as a cover. He then spent another 1 contribution point to activate the teleportation formation and return to Lioli Island. Upon arriving at Lioli Manor, Li Fan met Manager Qian, who managed the finances. He said, "Quickly dispatch people to gather Lioli pearls for me, the more, the better." Qian respectfully replied, "As you command, Immortal Master." Upon receiving the request, Manager Qian quickly gathered all the Lioli pearls in the island's inventory. With a note of unease in his voice, he reported. Reporting to the Immortal Master, the island presently holds only 23 Lioli pearls. These are everything we've managed to gather of late. Should you need more, I'm afraid you'll have to wait about a year. Li Fan asked. Oh? Has something happened? Manager Qian explained. I wouldn't dare mislead you, Immortal Master. Based on reports from the island's fishing boats, sightings of Lioli fish schools have grown increasingly rare, probably from excessive harvesting. We'll have to wait for their population to recover naturally before we can resume fishing. Hearing this, Li Fan nodded, yet Zhang Hao's words suddenly surfaced in his mind. I am aware of the situation, Li Fan said, storing the Lioli pearls in his storage ring. Instead of returning immediately, he first went to the quietude manor. Upon stepping into his residence, Li Fan waited a moment, then released his divine sense. After ensuring that Zhang Hao wasn't secretly spying on him, he then called forth the Taiyan boat and quickly transferred the gold, silver, and halt steel fragment from it into his storage ring. After completing the transfer, Li Fan made his way back to the island's protective array. Just as he prepared to depart from Myriad Immortals Island, a voice suddenly rang out from behind him. Please wait a moment, young friend. Every hair on Li Fan's body instantly stood on end.